In a move that has sent shockwaves across the international community, former U.S. President Donald Trump has unveiled a controversial plan for the Gaza Strip. This audacious proposal, presented to Jordan's King Abdullah II, calls for the United States to assume control of the Gaza Strip. This unprecedented move comes amidst a backdrop of escalating tensions and a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Trump's plan has ignited a firestorm of debate, with proponents lauding its boldness and critics decrying its potential consequences. The international community is grappling with the implications of this proposal, particularly its legality and the potential for further instability in an already volatile region. At the heart of this contentious plan lies the proposition of relocating Gaza's inhabitants. Trump's vision involves resettling the Gaza Strip's estimated 2.2 million Palestinian residents to neighboring countries, primarily Jordan and Egypt. This ambitious, and some argue improbable, undertaking aims to pave the way for the reconstruction of Gaza. Trump envisions a transformed Gaza, rebuilt with modern infrastructure and poised for economic growth. Central to Trump's plan is the large-scale relocation of Gaza's Palestinian population. This ambitious, and some argue improbable, undertaking aims to resettle the Gaza Strip's estimated 2.2 million Palestinian residents. Trump's vision involves relocating these residents to neighboring countries, primarily Jordan and Egypt. The logistics of such a massive population transfer, however, present a gargantuan challenge. The former president has yet to provide concrete details about how this relocation would be managed. Questions linger about the willingness of potential host countries to accept such a large influx of people. Furthermore, the financial implications of this undertaking remain unclear. The costs associated with resettling millions, providing housing, and ensuring their well-being would be astronomical. King Abdullah II of Jordan has responded to Trump's proposal with a resounding and unequivocal no. The Jordanian monarch has firmly rejected any suggestion of resettling Palestinians from Gaza within Jordan's borders. This firm stance is rooted in Jordan's own complex history and demographics. Jordan already hosts a substantial Palestinian population, many of whom are descendants of refugees from previous conflicts. Absorbing millions more would place an untenable strain on Jordan's resources and could exacerbate existing social and political tensions. King Abdullah has made it abundantly clear that Jordan will not bear the brunt of a solution that is not of its own making. Despite the economic and political pressures Jordan faces, King Abdullah has remained steadfast in his opposition. He has categorically rejected the notion of Jordan serving as a dumping ground for displaced Palestinians. Trump's Gaza plan has been met with a chorus of condemnation from the international community. The United Nations, along with numerous countries, has expressed deep concern over the legality and morality of the proposal. Critics argue that forcibly transferring a population from their homeland constitutes a violation of international law. The Palestinian Authority has denounced the plan, labeling it a blatant attempt at ethnic cleansing. Arab states have also lined up to criticize the proposal, with many viewing it as a betrayal of the Palestinian cause. The Arab League has called for a united front to oppose what it deems an illegal and unjust plan. The international community's resounding rejection of Trump's plan highlights the sensitivity surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The proposal has been widely criticized for its potential to inflame tensions and undermine any prospect of a peaceful resolution. Despite facing a wave of international criticism, Donald Trump has remained defiant in his defense of the Gaza plan. He has dismissed concerns about ethnic cleansing, arguing that the relocation of 2.2 million Palestinians is a necessary step towards peace. Trump has repeatedly asserted that his plan offers the best and perhaps only viable solution to the long-standing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. He argues that by starting with a clean slate, a new and prosperous Gaza can emerge from the ashes of conflict. The former president has also downplayed the logistical challenges of relocating such a large population. He has vaguely suggested that international funding would be available to support the endeavor, and has even hinted at the possibility of creating beautiful new cities to accommodate the displaced Palestinians. Critics, however, remain unconvinced by Trump's reassurances. They argue that his plan is impractical, immoral, and ultimately doomed to fail. They point to the lack of any concrete details or guarantees as evidence that the plan is nothing more than a dangerous fantasy. The Gaza Strip, a densely populated coastal enclave, has been ravaged by years of conflict and humanitarian crisis. The recent war between Israel and Hamas, which began in October 2023 and raged for 16 grueling months, has left Gaza in ruins. The conflict resulted in a staggering death toll, with over 47,000 Gazans losing their lives. The majority of casualties were civilians, including a heart-wrenching number of women and children. The war has also inflicted catastrophic damage on Gaza's infrastructure. Nearly 70% of buildings have been damaged or destroyed, leaving hundreds of thousands homeless. Hospitals, schools, and essential services have been severely impacted. Despite a fragile ceasefire agreement reached in February 2025, tensions remain high. The root causes of the conflict remain unaddressed, leaving the specter of renewed violence looming large. Trump's Gaza plan has injected a potent dose of uncertainty into an already volatile region. The proposal has the potential to upend existing alliances and ignite new conflicts, with ripple effects extending far beyond the borders of Gaza. Saudi Arabia, a regional powerhouse and key player in any potential peace process, has expressed reservations about the plan. The kingdom's stance is particularly significant given its ongoing normalization talks with Israel. Jordan, already grappling with its own economic and political challenges, faces the unenviable prospect of being pressured to absorb millions of Palestinian refugees. Defiance of the United States, its long-standing ally and major aid donor, could have severe consequences. The plan has also raised concerns about a potential shift in the regional balance of power. Jordan, facing immense pressure from the US, might be compelled to seek support from other powers, including Russia or China. Trump's Gaza proposal has become ensnared in a web of legal and historical complexities. The plan's legality under international law has been called into question, with experts pointing to potential violations of international conventions. The Fourth Geneva Convention, for instance, prohibits the forced transfer of civilians from occupied territory. Gaza, while its status is disputed, is widely considered to be under Israeli occupation according to international law. The plan also raises concerns about the right of return for Palestinian refugees, a long-standing and contentious issue at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Trump's proposal appears to disregard this right, further complicating any prospects for a negotiated settlement. Moreover, the historical context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, marked by decades of displacement and dispossession, adds another layer of complexity. Trump's plan, critics argue, risks exacerbating historical grievances and perpetuating the cycle of conflict. As the world grapples with the implications of Trump's Gaza plan, experts have put forth a range of alternative proposals for the future governance and reconstruction of the war-torn territory. Some experts advocate for a revitalized role for the Palestinian Authority in governing Gaza. This approach would require reconciliation between Fatah, the dominant faction in the West Bank, and Hamas, which controls Gaza. Others propose an international peacekeeping force to maintain stability and security in Gaza, providing a conducive environment for reconstruction and development. This force would need a robust mandate from the United Nations Security Council. Egypt has put forward a plan that centers on a committee of Palestinian technocrats tasked with managing Gaza's affairs. This proposal aims to bypass the political deadlock between Fatah and Hamas, focusing on addressing the dire humanitarian needs of the Gazan people. While these alternative proposals offer potential pathways forward, each faces its own set of challenges and obstacles. The path to a sustainable and just solution in Gaza remains fraught with complexity. Trump's audacious Gaza plan has cast a long shadow over an already volatile region, leaving the world to ponder the potential risks and outcomes of this controversial proposal. The plan, if implemented, carries the very real risk of igniting further conflict and instability. The forced relocation of millions of Palestinians would undoubtedly be met with resistance, potentially triggering a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented proportions. The international community's condemnation of the plan suggests that any attempt to implement it would be met with widespread opposition. Moreover, The plan's potential to exacerbate tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors could have far-reaching consequences for regional stability. The already fragile peace process could be dealt a fatal blow, dimming hopes for a negotiated two-state solution. The long-term consequences of Trump's Gaza plan remain uncertain. However, one thing is clear. The plan represents a high-stakes gamble with the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East for generations to come.